Hello everyone, welcome to my channel. Please subscribe and keep watching more details. The Young and the Restless Tuesday, March 11th recap. Sharon and Phyllis are lab rats white van tied to kidnappings. The Young and the Restless YNR recap for Tuesday, March 11th, reveals Sharon Newman case and Phyllis Summers Michelle Stafford will be lab rats while it's determined that a white van was tied to their kidnappings. In captivity, Sharon will push Phyllis to drink what she believes is the antidote, but Phyllis will have a hard time trusting her. However, Phyllis will ultimately gulp the water bottle marked with a sticker and will feel better a few minutes later. Sharon will wonder if Phyllis would have done the same for her if the situation had been reversed. Phyllis will act like maybe she wouldn't have, but Sharon will suspect that Phyllis would have helped her, too. After Phyllis thanks Sharon for saving her life and takes her hand, Phyllis will try to get some rest on the sofa. The captor will eventually tell Sharon that this isn't personal and that they should think of this like an experiment. Sharon will rant about being lab rats and worry that liberation doesn't necessarily mean they'll be returned to their loved ones. Once Sharon screams and startles Phyllis, she'll admit she doesn't think they're getting out of there anytime soon. At Society, Nick Newman Joshua Morrow will open up to Victoria Newman Amelia Heinel about his concerns since Sharon and Phyllis are still missing. Daniel Romalotti Jr. Michael Grazia Day will join the discussion before Chancellor Connor Floyd appears with some updates. Thanks to some new CCTV footage, there'll be proof that a white van with no windows pulled up after Phyllis left the athletic club. Sharon was also spotted in the Cassidy First parking lot near that same van, which was stolen from a medical supply company that morning. Now that they have this clue, Nick will hope it leads to figuring out where Sharon and Phyllis are now. At the GCAC on Tuesday's YNR episode, Summer Newman Allison Lanier will derail Kyle Abbott's Michael Mealer date with Claire Newman Haley Aaron and insist this is about Harrison Abbott Redding Munsell. Once Claire steps away, Summer will argue that Harrison could hear something about Phyllis' disappearance, so they need to talk to him tonight and try to reassure him. Kyle will cave in when Summer argues that this can't wait, so she'll be pleased. Summer will try to convince Claire not to wait around, but Claire will decide to grab a drink at the bar. Claire will find the martini she orders to be a little strong, so Holden Novak Nathan Owens will come along and order them both some Vespers instead. That'll be more to Claire's liking, so Holden will have a flirty conversation with her about James Bond before exchanging introductions. When Kyle returns with Summer, they'll spot Holden and Claire clinking glasses. Summer will point out that Claire's found a new friend, so Kyle will seem a little jealous as he steals her away from Holden and tries to get their date back on track. The Young and the Restless spoilers say Claire and Kyle have more relationship issues in their future, so we'll bring you more predictions on all the troubling news to come. The tension between Sharon Case and Phyllis Michelle Stafford was palpable as they both faced off in a situation where neither could escape unscathed. The two women, always at odds, were unexpectedly thrown together in a scenario that seemed like the beginning of a dangerous experiment. As part of an unanticipated turn of events, both Sharon and Phyllis became lab rats, unknowingly testing the waters of a more sinister plot brewing in Genoa City. Their unwilling involvement in a larger scheme became clear as the episode progressed. It wasn't just about personal grudges anymore, it was about survival. Phyllis, ever the survivor and a woman of action, immediately saw the potential for danger when she realized that they were being manipulated by an unseen hand. Sharon, often the empathetic one, seemed to take a more vulnerable approach, unsure of how to handle the situation. This dynamic brought an interesting contrast to their personalities and heightened the drama of their predicament. The lab rat situation, however, wasn't just a matter of being in the wrong place at the wrong time. It was a calculated move by someone in Genoa City to use these two women as pawns in a twisted game. The sinister orchestrator behind this scheme remains hidden, but the cryptic nature of their actions suggests that something far deeper and more dangerous is at play. Sharon and Phyllis' reactions, from fear to defiance, hinted at the complexity of what they were about to face, especially as they learned more about their shared fate. As the plot unfolded, Sharon and Phyllis found themselves trapped in a cycle of uncertainty, each trying to outsmart the other while navigating the increasingly perilous circumstances. Their interactions were layered with a mix of suspicion, rivalry, and reluctant alliance. It was clear that they would have to work together, at least temporarily, if they were to escape the situation unscathed. The way they adapted to their roles as lab rats underlined their desperation to break free of the forces working against them. The White Van Mystery, Kidnappings continue. While Sharon and Phyllis were grappling with their own dilemmas, another mystery continued to deepen: the connection between the White Van and the series of kidnappings that had shaken Genoa City. The White Van, which had become a symbol of fear, was linked to several disturbing abductions, and as the episode progressed, it became clear that the kidnappings were far from random. In fact, they were methodically planned, and the White Van was likely the key to unraveling the mystery. The police, led by Paul Williams' Doug Davidson, were on high alert as they worked tirelessly to connect the dots between the van, the missing individuals, and any potential suspects. However, the investigation was becoming increasingly complicated. The kidnappers were careful, elusive, and highly organized, which suggested that they weren't acting alone. There were whispers of a much larger conspiracy brewing, one that involved powerful players in Genoa City who had their own reasons for keeping things under wraps. As the White Van continued to haunt the town, there were subtle hints that the kidnappings were more personal than originally thought. Each disappearance seemed to follow a certain pattern, and some of the victims had connections to people in power within the city. This was no ordinary crime spree, it was a calculated operation, and the kidnappers had a specific agenda. Whether it was revenge, leverage, or something else entirely, the mystery surrounding the White Van was rapidly becoming the talk of the town. The web tightens around Sharon and Phyllis. Sharon and Phyllis' involvement in the mystery surrounding the White Van grew more intertwined as the episode progressed. Neither woman could shake the feeling that they were being pulled deeper into the conspiracy, and neither one could be certain who was behind the mask. Was the force orchestrating the kidnappings linked to their pasts, or were they just another pawn in a much larger, more dangerous game? Their interactions took on a new level of urgency as they began to piece together clues, trying to make sense of the strange events unfolding around them. Sharon's intuition and Phyllis' sharp instincts were both tested as they found themselves racing against time to uncover the truth. However, the closer they got to the answers, the more dangerous the situation became. It was clear that someone wanted to keep them quiet at any cost. As the episode drew to a close, the tension in Genoa City reached a boiling point. Sharon and Phyllis were left with more questions than answers, but one thing was certain: they were not out of danger. The threat surrounding them loomed large, and the mystery of the White Van was far from solved. The townspeople had no idea just how close they were to the heart of the conspiracy, and with the stakes higher than ever, the next chapter of this thrilling storyline promised even more twists and turns. Key moments from the episode: Sharon and Phyllis' unlikely alliance. Despite their history of conflict, the two women were forced into an alliance as they struggled to make sense of their situation. Sharon's vulnerability contrasted with Phyllis' more aggressive, no-nonsense attitude, creating a compelling dynamic that kept viewers hooked. The ominous White Van. The White Van was a constant symbol of the growing mystery. The connection between the van and the kidnappings deepened, with hints that the people behind these crimes were far more dangerous than initially believed. Rising stakes. the stakes of the storyline escalated as Sharon and Phyllis uncovered more about the scheme they were entangled in. Their growing sense of danger was palpable, and it became clear that they would need to outsmart the shadowy forces working against them if they were to survive. The mystery unfolds. As the investigation into the kidnappings continued, more questions arose about who was orchestrating the crimes and why. The implications of the white van's involvement became even more sinister as the episode drew to a close. In conclusion, The Young and the Restless on Tuesday, March 11, took its viewers on a roller coaster of suspense as Sharon and Phyllis found themselves caught in a web of manipulation and danger, all linked to the white van and a series of disturbing kidnappings. With the mystery deepening and the stakes higher than ever, it's clear that the coming episodes will bring even more shocking revelations and thrilling twists. Stay tuned to see how this gripping storyline unfolds.